how can Palace get more than just an appearance in the FA Cup final and go on to lift the trophy, taking down Manchester City in the process?
Well, it's easy as Eze does it. This is a guy, Eberechi Eze, who's been playing out of his mind. And I think Oliver Glasner, as we saw the importance, and we were talking about the importance of Michael Olise last season, he's taken up that mantle. The guy is scoring goals, but he's creating everything. Goals, attacks, everything come through him in transition. The next, Arsenal are not the true set-piece kings of the Premier League. Crystal Palace actually are, and they're damn good at it. They're level with Arsenal on set-piece goals, and as of late, they've been getting goals. They got 2 against ManCity in their last 2 meetings, and that is a weakness for City.
Do they have a set-piece coach?
No, they just do it, and Glasner is the one who cooks it. You don't really need one, do you? The last one, ruthless on the counter. So going back to the 5-2 loss at the Etihad, it was 2-0 Palace. Ismaila Sarr is right there in front of the goal, and he skies it over. That would have been 3-0 in the first 30 minutes against the reigning Premier League champion and the team that everyone says should steamroll Crystal Palace. They didn't take advantage of that opportunity. They had 2 more before half, and ManCity comes back. If you're not ruthless in a cup final, you end up on the losing end. So that is the most important thing for me.
Well, let's see the way that these 2 teams will line up against each other. Zach, I want to get your thoughts first on what matchups or what players you're really looking at in this in the All-22.
It's not so much a matchup. It's more so a standout player with De Bruyne. I feel his last game at Wembley, hopefully he can put on a performance for us. It'd be great to send him off with some silverware, which the manager and the rest of the team would love to send him off for what he's done for ManCity. So I'm looking out for a great performance from him today. On the weekend, sorry.
For me, I'm actually going to choose the right backs instead of the left backs because I can actually point at the right backs. Munoz and Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly, his breakout performances have come in FA Cup. The amount of goal contributions, scoring, assists have been remarkable, really. One of the youngsters that it's up and coming. He can play in inside channels, centrally, out wide as well. And he likes getting high, and Munoz likes Munoz, we've seen him go on these galloping runs into the central channels, finishing off plays very high on the right-hand side. A lot of similar attributes in both of these players, so I'm just intrigued to see how they match up in this game, especially when we could imagine perhaps Crystal Palace sitting a little bit further back.
Yeah, I think, Nico, you hit it right on the head with the importance of Munoz, another player who's been outstanding for them. Can I reach it?
Oh, get out of here. I thought you were going to talk about Tyreek Mitchell, bro. Get out of here.
Please lift him up.
That was hyperbolic.
Michael Hyperbolic Lahoud. That's what I'm here for. No, but Wharton is a big one. He's been battling an ankle injury and should be fit for the final. If not, you got to get him fit for the final.
What if he's not, though? What if it's Lerma and Hughes, for example?
That puts a lot more impetus on Daishe Kamada to fill that role. Wharton's passing range is so important to get the ball out wide, the diagonals. On the goal they scored, I think it was the first goal they scored against City. It was a diagonal from Wharton to Munoz, who takes the first touch. Manchester City struggle with early service. And that front 3 of Mateta, Sarr, and Eze, right now, I'm struggling to find a front 3 in the last 2 months that are cooking in the Premier League as good as they are. They're scary with early service and they're getting goals.
All right, well, let's bring in our CBS Sports EPL correspondent, Jeff Shreves, to get his thoughts on this matchup. Jeff, how big of an upset would it be if Crystal Palace got the win tomorrow?
Oh, it'd be absolutely huge, but I've got to say, I think they've got more than a puncher's chance because they are in good form right now. That back 3, be interested to know Zach's thought on Gay, Lacroix and Richards, because they're a really tight unit and they defend for their life. They defend shamelessly. They are a super tight unit. Wharton, obviously the playmaker as well. Mateta's on fire too. So I honestly think they've got a really good chance. And, you know, as we said, Manchester City are not coming off the best of seasons. It was actually described as catastrophic by Erling Haaland. And he himself, 5 visits to Wembley, never scored a goal there. You saw Pep Guardiola's face after that frustrating draw with Southampton. Really, really not happy at all. So, you know, they've done better towards the end of the season, but they are not still back to the Manchester City of old as yet. And I mentioned Chris Richards. What is he attempting to become the third of tomorrow?
I mean, I'm trying to imagine he's the third American to win FA Cup.
Okay, can you name the other two?
Yes.
Go on.
Tim Howard.
And
Which year? I'll give you that.
Jeez.
2004.
Jeff wants all the details.
I'm going to make something up.
2009.
2004, Manchester United.
Okay.
And who was the
I was
other?
gonna say
Nico in particular. You style yourself as the great font of knowledge, the guru.
Zach Steffen is what I would say.
Ooh.
Nope.
Ooh.
American.
Oh, I love this. Can the whole segment now just become this? Hold up.
American.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. Born in Boston, he was also described as a poet, a novelist, and a lyricist. He won the inaugural FA Cup
Oh, get out of
with
here.
Wanderers in 1873. A gentleman by the name of Julian Sturgis.
Streams, it sounded like you're almost saying Paul Revere when you were starting that, but clearly, that's
So long
essentially
ago, the picture's in black and white.
I've got to tell you, it was a great game. I enjoyed watching him play as well. Honestly, I have to give great credit to Jason Burt in the Daily Telegraph, who wrote this piece today. He sat down with Chris Richards and he told him about it. And Richards is a history buff, if you like. He read up on the history of the competition in Crystal Palace. I think it's a lovely, lovely story to have won it, the very first one in 1873. He was also not just the first American, he was the first foreigner as well to play in the final. So it's a lovely story, and I'm sure, don't forget, he won't start, but Matt Turner could come on for some reason and become the fourth.
Yeah, not bad. Oh, I love these nuggets, Jeff. That was awesome. All right, listen, I'm going to ask you two quick questions. 0 to 100,
Sure.
How much % chance do you give Crystal Palace?
I'm going to have a cheeky little bet on them, Nico. I just fancy them to cause an upset, and it would be an upset. I think they are extremely resilient. They've never won a trophy. It's a massive deal to them, and I don't think by any stretch of the imagination that Manchester City will underestimate them. And this means a lot to Man City as well. As Erling Haaland said, in this terrible season, we've got to win something. Also interesting as well, he said, look, you can talk about injuries and stuff like that, but we simply haven't run enough as a team. Now, to hear a player say that is really, that's quite something. I think, as I said right at the top, I think Palace have got more than a puncher's chance because they're also a team that's extremely well organised and they're well coached too.
So, 0 to 100%, given everything that you said about Crystal Palace, how much do you think all of England is rooting for Crystal Palace tomorrow?
Oh, of course. Outside of Manchester City, of course they are. Having said that, though, don't forget, Nico, if Manchester City were to win it, the Europa League place would go to 8th in the Premier League. And tied on points, we've got Brighton and Brentford. So they're probably hoping for a City win. I mean, certainly Brighton, who, as we know, despise Crystal Palace, so they'll all have their Man City tops on at the weekend. So, look, it's a wonderful, wonderful competition. It'll be a great occasion, and it would be a really important victory for either team. Definitely a much bigger deal for Crystal Palace because, as I say, they've never won a trophy of note, and it would be just a terrific story.
Jeff, on the other side of things, Manchester City, we're not used to seeing them in this position. It's been a poor season, and poor is being quite kind, especially from what you and Nico have said. What would this season mean if they were to get this FA Cup and potentially get Champions League football as well?
I think that they're two separate things, Lahoud. I think they will get Champions League football, and I think in their minds they'll know that as well. This is, if you like, this is the glory shot. They're not going to turn around and say, yes, it was a great season, we won the FA Cup. They're not going to say that. Again, Erling Haaland said the club set the bar so high. That's what makes this a catastrophic season. You can think of a number of clubs, if they won the FA Cup and qualified for the Champions League, they'd say, terrific. That's fantastic. That would be a great season for us. It's by their imperious standards that this has been an incredible fall from grace. So I still think the FA Cup is an important trophy. They take it seriously. They advance far into the competition every year. So they're going to want this. They are going to want it. But will it make it a good season? No.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to wrap this up by getting your quick score prediction for this game. Commit to a score prediction. What is it?
2-1 Palace.